Namaste friends, welcome to my channel VedicAstrology. My name is Amit Garg. Today we'll talk about Saturn's transit in Pisces. This is the biggest transit of the year. In fact, Saturn changes signs every 2.5 years. So this doesn't even happen every year. So Saturn will be in Pisces from March 29th, 2025 through June 3rd, 2027. So almost 2 years and 3 months. Saturn is the slowest moving planet. So this has a huge impact, and Saturn touches a lot of houses. Saturn rules two houses. So this is a major transit for everybody, and it'll affect a lot of our areas. So we'll discuss how this will impact each of the 12 rising signs. Before that, if you haven't already, and if you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. I share deep insights and very practical remedies, and also I explain things very clearly what's going on. So if you want to understand or even learn astrology, subscribe to my channel. And thank you for all the paid members. Thank you to all the existing subscribers and people who comment and share and give feedback. I really appreciate your time. So this transit of Saturn in Pisces, it's no ordinary transit. It's actually very, very unique and rare for many reasons. One is Saturn enters Pisces on March 29th, 2025. That's the day when it's Amavasya. Okay, so it's a new moon. And also Venus and Mercury both are in the sign of Pisces already, both are retrograde. So the sun is there, moon is there because of the new moon, and that new moon is taking place in Pisces itself. On March 29th, when Saturn enters the sign of Pisces, and Venus, Mercury already there in the sign of Pisces, retrograde. And on top of that, still Rahu is in Pisces. So this is a monumental change, shift. Now, you have to understand any transit, this is a long 2 years and 3 months transit. But the moment it begins, that's the birth of this transit. That energy is very important. That's why I'm focusing on March 29, 2025 as being a very powerful day when this transit is happening. Now, throughout these 2 years, 3 months, Saturn will actually go retrograde twice, all within the sign of Pisces. So that will have a different impact. So I'll create a separate video for those windows when Saturn is going to be retrograde. And now, one of the key things about Saturn is when Saturn approaches, it causes stress and difficulties. But when Saturn is leaving, going away, then it gives you blessings. So in other words, so let's say you have a planet at 5 degrees Pisces. So when Saturn enters the sign of Pisces up until the point it reaches 5 degrees, that planet will be under stress. It'll give you difficult results. But as soon as Saturn leaves, goes away more than 5 degrees, then it'll give you huge blessings. It's the drishti, it's the gaze of Saturn that is problematic. That's why this whole idea of Saraswati and all that. So Saturn gives trouble when it's coming towards you. So that's why in the Shastras also. So even Lord Ganesha and so all the gods, they sort of run away from the gaze of Saturn. But when it's leaving, it's going away from you, then it gives you huge, huge blessings. Blessings you cannot even think about, you cannot even comprehend. So huge blessings. Saturn is a big giver. But it just depends. So it first polishes our mind. So that is Saraswati. And we'll discuss Saraswati also. With Saturn's shift, whenever Saturn changes signs, there's a huge shift with respect to Saraswati. So some people will be done with their Saraswati with this transit. Some people will begin their Saraswati. And for some people, this will be the middle phase of Saraswati, which is usually more stressful. More hard work during Saraswati. So we'll discuss exactly specifically which signs will have what impact and what blessings. And also you have to always remember, it's not just Saturn in Pisces. There's a lot going on, which I'll discuss for each of the 12 rising signs, because Jupiter is coming into play, because the sign of Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. So the dispositor always has a say. Then there's also influence of Rahu and Saturn, because Rahu is going to be in the sign of Aquarius, ruled by Saturn. So throughout this tenure from March 29, 2025 through June 3rd, 2027, Rahu will be in the signs ruled by Saturn. That means the dispositor of Rahu will be Saturn. That means Rahu will be giving energy to Saturn. So the Saturn will carry the energy of both Rahu and Jupiter. So it's pretty much a combination of Saturn, Rahu, and Jupiter for most of this duration. So let's discuss one by one each of the 12 rising signs. First of all, Aries rising. Aries Lagna, Aries Ascendant. For Aries, Saturn is your 10th Lord and Saturn is your 11th Lord. It'll be transiting in the sign of Pisces. Now, understand the first 2 months. This transit begins March 29, 2025. The first 2 months until end of May, Rahu will also be in Pisces, and Rahu and Saturn are going to be going head on towards each other. So the first 2 months are going to be very, very different. Watch my video. I have a separate video for Saturn Rahu conjunction, March through May 2025. And then secondly, Saturn in Pisces means it's a combination of Saturn and Jupiter, energy of Jupiter, the dispositor. Similarly, after May, then Rahu will be transiting through the signs of Saturn, Aquarius and Capricorn. So throughout this duration, Rahu will, be affecting the dispositor, that is Saturn. So Saturn will carry the energy of Rahu and Jupiter. So essentially, this combination throughout the duration, March 25 through June 27, uh, this is a combination of Saturn and Jupiter and Rahu. Now, those things will manifest in your 12th house. Saturn-Jupiter combination, wherever there's energy of Saturn, Jupiter, things materialize. Saturn is practical reality, ground reality, whereas Jupiter is hope and big picture. So the combination of Saturn and Jupiter makes things happen. Now, on top of that, Rahu energy will be there. That means you'll think big. Rahu makes everything big, giant. It just expands the whole energy for good or for bad. Now, this is good because Saturn and Jupiter energy means making things happen. So Rahu will make those plans and things on a much bigger grand scale. Now, always remember there's going to be other transits throughout these 2 years. So you have to look at those as well. And second, you have to look at your natal chart, how this impact will be there for your specific natal chart. So this is generic prediction. Always keep in mind. So Saturn in the 12th house. First of all, see, Saturn is discipline. Saturn is boundaries. Saturn is restrictions. Saturn is maryada. So Saturn in the 12th house means you may feel restrictions in some areas, but you'll be disciplined also. So one of the big things I would start with is 12th house is your subconscious mind. And Saturn in the 12th house will literally activate your subconscious mind. And Saturn is also the karma, the profession. Saturn is the karma karaka, main karma karaka is Saturn. And so you may see a lot of opportunities for work in foreign countries. So you may actually move abroad. And you may get like contacts or these opportunities from foreign people or foreign travel. And then also, this is a good time for making investments in foreign countries, like foreign investments. And it need not be just foreign, it could be any investments also, because 12th house represents investments. And Saturn is going to be there in the 12th house, carrying the energy of Jupiter and Rahu. So really powerful time for you to think long-term investments. Saturn is always long-term. Saturn is never, just the current situation. Okay. 12th house is also the ashrams and retreats. So going and foreign countries anyway, the foreign travel. So visiting ashrams and, isolation or self-imposed retreats or solitude, just being with yourself, by yourself, and pilgrimage. So those things are going to be very, very powerful. Now, as I mentioned, Saturn is restrictions also, discipline and boundaries. And 12th house is the house of letting go, exit. So this is the time to let go of things that are not needed, that are not serving you anymore. So, this is going to be sort of a cleansing process. Okay. You'll have huge gains from your friends because 11th Lord in the 12th house, carrying the energy of Jupiter and Rahu. You'll develop very structured, or I should say, solid, long-term friendships, mature friendships. It will not be just, sort of like love at first sight, or you just meet somebody, you think they are your best friend. These will be friendships that will be there for the rest of your life, solid foundations. And you may actually change your friends also, but the ones you keep or the new ones you acquire will be for the long term. You'll be conservative in your spending, in also your financial matters. Both the 11th house, 12th house deal with money. And so Saturn in the 12th will make you save, savings will be important for you. So if you've been spending a lot, this will curb that. This will put a stop to that. And then also you'll have, in terms of your, sixth sense or beyond the three dimensions. See, the 12th house is subconscious mind. 12th house is past life regression. 12th house is astral travel, other planes of existence. So it's deep spirituality, that is 12th house. So Saturn there will actually show you the path. Saturn is, so you'll have spiritual discipline, and you'll like, solitude and just going deep. That's going to be there. And then in terms of career also, you may see unconventional opportunities because Rahu's energy is still there. Unconventional opportunities for your career, unconventional opportunities for making money. That is 11th house. And talking about Sadhisati also, if you have your moon in Aries, so now this picture is about Aries rising, but if you have your moon in Aries, that means you will begin your Sadhisati with this transit. As of March 2025, you'll begin your Sadhisati period. If your moon is in Pisces, then this will mark the middle portion of your Sadhisati, which can be pretty stressful. But if your moon is in Aquarius, then this will mark the last phase of Sadhisati for you. And if your moon is in Capricorn, then this will mark the ending of Sadhisati for you. Okay, so that's regarding the moon. And then also always remember when Saturn approaches, it may cause troubles. So if you have some planets in Pisces where Saturn is going to enter and then start approaching those planets, that's how you have to analyze. You may feel stress about those planets. And then once it leaves those planets, then it'll be much better. And then, Pisces is the sign of expansion. It's like the ocean. And so you'll feel very expansive energy. This is going to be a very spiritual transit for you. And Saturn and Jupiter, as I mentioned in the intro section also, Saturn and Jupiter combination makes things happen. So you will have a lot of actual results, blessings related to the 12th house, so which is like I mentioned, foreign travel, astral travel, and past life regression. Your subconscious mind will be activated, and also this will actually give you lots of opportunities for your work, for financial gains in the foreign countries. This is also a good time for you to travel with your older siblings or travel with your friends. So like a summer trip to a foreign country with your friends, with your buddies. It's an excellent time for that. And then also Saturn in the 12th house. This will activate your dreams. So your dreams will become very powerful. Pay very close attention to your dreams, or you can literally do things like lucid dreaming or guided meditations, such as Yoga Nidra. Those will be really powerful, excellent for you. And those in turn will actually lift your 10th and 11th house as well. So those are some of the powerful remedies. So again, this is, I'd say mainly two big areas will be impacted in a very positive way for you for Aries rising. That is, one is profession and financial gains from profession. The second is the spiritual aspect, activating your subconscious mind. And again, you have to look at other transits also throughout these 2 years, what's happening, but also what your natal chart is, showing. So you have to superimpose these transit on natal chart. For that, you can book a consultation if you want a detailed analysis. But this is overall big picture analysis for Aries rising. Next is Taurus rising. For Taurus, watch the intersection. We've discussed the importance of that specific day, March 29 to 2025, a very, very monumental day. And so Saturn will be in your 11th house, and Saturn is the ruler of 9th house and 11th house for you. So what does that mean? First of all, the first 2 months of this transit, the month of April and May, are going to be very sensitive. I've made a separate video for that because Saturn and Rahu will be together. They'll be conjunct for the first 2 months in the sign of Pisces, towards the beginning of Pisces. And watch that video for your rising sign. And also, if you have important planets in Pisces, especially early degrees of Pisces, You really need to watch that video. And then also, based on your natal chart, these predictions may vary. So you have to take that into account. But Saturn is going to be in Pisces. Pisces is expansion. Pisces is the energy of ocean. It's unlimited, but it's also dreaming and um, sort of disconnection from reality. So Saturn will correct that. Saturn and Pisces is a great combination. They complement each other. Saturn is ground reality. Saturn is practical reality right now. So in your 11th house, Saturn will bring structure. Saturn will bring, healthy boundaries. And this is going to be a combination of Saturn and Jupiter because it's a sign of Pisces, which is ruled by Jupiter, and the energy of Rahu as well. Because Rahu will be throughout this duration of 2 years, 3 months, Rahu will be in the signs ruled by Saturn. So the dispositor of Rahu is Saturn. So that means Saturn will carry the energy of Rahu and Jupiter. So it's a combination of Saturn, Jupiter, and Rahu. This is going to be absolutely fantastic period for manifestation for your 11th house matters, and also ninth and 10th house will get a boost as well. So, and anyway, Rahu is very powerful. Whenever there's Rahu energy in the 11th house, that is fantastic. So, first of all, you'll consolidate your finances. You'll have a structure, you'll have a long-term plan, you'll have a strategy how to earn money, how to make your finances better. Secondly, you'll develop very strategic and very spiritual, long-term, mature friendships. Uh, this is a great time for you to go on social media and spread the word, share your wisdom, share your knowledge with the world. And you may actually be involved in like grassroots, organizations, or creating these social structures or social networks. You'll have a lot of success, a lot of exposure. Saturn is the planet of boundaries and discipline. So Saturn in the 11th house, always really wonderful for keeping our desires in check. So we won't have Taurus rising will not have excessive desires. And then your career will have a transformation. The first 2 months, it may be stressful. As I mentioned, Saturn and Rahu will be conjunct first 2 months. But after that, you'll have lots of opportunity, lots of maybe promotion or financial gains like raise, and then also ninth house getting strength as well. We have the ninth lord is going to be sitting in the 11th house, very strong. So that means ninth house is all the higher wisdom. And so you will share wisdom with the world. 11th house is reaching out to the masses. So ninth lord going to the 11th house, literally all of the higher wisdom that you have gained, this is the time for you to start sharing with the world, with masses, with this on the social media maybe. And also this will give you better sense of your spiritual path, of your dharma. And again, remember, so this is the time of manifesting things, especially related to your 11th house, because it's the energy of Saturn and Jupiter and Rahu. Saturn and Jupiter, wherever they have a combined energy aspect, that area of life flourishes. And so you'll manifest more wealth. You'll set the foundation for creating more wealth, more income. You'll gain a lot of mature friendships. You'll gain, the social status, or on social media you'll be able to reach out to a lot of people. Also another thing you'll be very cautious in your desires, so you'll tame your excessive desires, and at the same time better relationship with your older siblings. Saturn in the 11th house, and 11th house is a upachaya sthan anyway. It grows with time, so it'll give you better and better results. So initially, whatever results you get during the initial phase of this transit, but those results will keep on improving as we go along. But of course, you have to look at other transits, what's going on, your natal chart, how that will impact this prediction. So you have to keep that into account as well. So that's for the sign of Taurus. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. So next will be Gemini. Gemini rising, Gemini Lagna, Gemini ascendant. Now, this is based on the ascendant, but also remember, if you have your moon in Aries, you have just started your Sadhisati with this transit. If your moon is in Pisces, you'll enter the middle phase of your Sadhisati. If your moon is in Aquarius, then you'll enter the last phase of your Sadhisati. So that's for the moon, but this analysis specifically this picture, everything. This is for based on the rising sign. So Saturn is your eighth lord and Saturn is your ninth lord, and it's transiting through your 10th house. Again, caution. So first 2 months of this transit will be very different because Rahu is still in Pisces in your 10th house. So you may feel stress and this harsh energy about your career, like obstacles, ups and downs in your career might still be there for the initial couple of months. Watch my other video where I have explained the Saturn Rahu conjunction in detail. But overall, other than that, in general, this will be an excellent period for career. Because this is the time of manifesting things. Saturn in Pisces means it's the energy of Saturn and Jupiter because Jupiter rules Pisces. At the same time, Rahu will be in the signs of Saturn. So the dispositor of Rahu, that is the ruler of Rahu, will be Saturn. So Rahu will be giving its energy to Saturn. So here, Saturn sitting in your 10th house will have the energy of Saturn, Jupiter, and Rahu. So that means huge results, huge gains, and huge, uh, you're manifesting things related to that house. So the entire focus will be on your career. Now, see, understand it's the eighth lord going to the 10th house, and also it's the ninth lord going to the 10th house. So literally, there are many different possibilities. One is eighth house represents all the hidden wisdom, esoteric wisdom. So you may actually have a career. You'll bring out all of that wisdom from eighth house out to your 10th house, which is your career. So in your career, either you'll implement that wisdom or you'll have a career that is totally about spiritual stuff. Secondly, eighth house is also other people's money, so wealth management. So you may have a huge success if you are managing other people's wealth. And then thirdly, eighth house is change and transformation, literally a lot of change. And so eighth lord going to the 10th house means a change in your career is very much possible. Same thing with the ninth house. So ninth house is all about higher wisdom. So you'll bring all that wisdom in your career. So this is a great time for you to act as a mentor, act as a guide or a coach or a consultant or a guru or a teacher for people in your profession at work. That will be very powerful for your Saturn's ninth lord going to the 10th house. And at the same time, ninth house represents people whom we learn from, our gurus, our father. So anybody we look up to. Okay, so that means ninth lord going to the 10th house means in your profession, you'll receive guidance from your gurus. Or your mentors or your teachers. So welcome any guidance, welcome any kind of professional help that's coming your way. And ninth house represents bhagya, luck. So ninth lord going to the 10th house means the luck will shine upon you specifically in your career. You'll have more success, more luck. You'll get recognition. You'll get enough name and fame or rewards based on the efforts you've made in the past. But again, so you have to superimpose all the other transits happening, combine those effects, and of course, you have to look at your natal chart as well because the overall predictions, could vary quite a bit if you have, say, important planets sitting in Pisces, and also what degree they are. Are they at 10 degrees, 15 degrees, 30 degrees towards the end of the sign, or like 28, 29? Any planet sitting in the beginning of Pisces in your natal chart, you have to be cautious about those regarding the things that they govern in your life. Because Rahu and Saturn both are going to be initial degrees of Saturn conjunction um, during the first few months of this transit. So overall, this is the time of manifestation. To summarize, this is a wonderful time to solidify your career. Saturn plus Jupiter plus Rahu energy means expansion and results and execution and also including strategy and planning for your career. And also you may actually make a lot of changes in your career, more on the spiritual lines. So you may incorporate a lot of spirituality in your career. In fact, the more you do, the more this transit will give you, better blessings. One other thing I'll say is throughout this transit, you need to make sure that you have a very solid, strict discipline about in your career, in your profession. That's what Saturn wants you to do in the 10th house. Very organized, disciplined, and hardworking, and structured in your career. So then you'll have lots and lots of blessings of Shani Maharaj. So the main focus for Gemini rising is career, profession, reputation, dealing with the authorities, and then bringing out the eighth and ninth house matters to the front as well. If you like the content, please subscribe to my channel. Uh, to also, if you want to learn astrology deeply, then you can also join our courses. We're starting advanced course, online Zoom course. You can check out my website. So that's for the sign of Gemini. Thanks for watching. Next is Cancer rising, Cancer Lagna. Now, this is a major transit. Saturn is the slowest moving planet. And I made a separate video for the first 2 months of this transit where Saturn and Jupiter are going to be conjunct in Pisces. So the energy will be very, very different. Watch that video. And also intersection, watch the intersection. We discussed a lot of things about Saturn and Pisces and this combination in general. And then also the other big thing, whenever Saturn changes sign is impact on Saraswati. So if your moon is in Aries, you just began your Saraswati as of March 29, 2025, you'll begin. And if your moon is in Pisces, then you'll enter the middle phase of your Saraswati, which can be quite intense. If you are Aquarius moon sign, then this will be marked the third and the final phase of Saraswati for you, the 2.5 years. But if you're Capricorn moon sign, then this will mark the end of your Saraswati. So that's how this will impact each your moon. But this video, so we're talking about the rising sign. So Saturn is transiting through your ninth house, and Saturn is your seventh lord and the eighth lord. Okay. So this combination, so this transit is going to have huge influence on your ninth house, first of all. Understand that Saturn in Pisces carries the energy of Saturn and Jupiter because Pisces is the dispositor. At the same time, Rahu will be in the signs ruled by Saturn. So that means Rahu's dispositor will be Saturn. And so Rahu will transfer the energy to Saturn. So that means Saturn will carry the energy of not just Jupiter, but Rahu also. So essentially, look at this transit as if this is a conjunction of Saturn, Jupiter, and Rahu. That means Saturn and Jupiter means execution, meaning actual results, concrete results on the ground, rewards. And then Rahu will actually make that energy even 100 times more powerful. This is an extremely powerful time for you, for your ninth house. So you'll have things manifest related to your ninth house, and seventh and eighth house also get a boost, but ninth house will be powerful. Now, first thing, ninth house is our luck. It's a bhagyasthan, right? So luck will shine upon you. So you'll have better luck, as they say. And then ninth house is our higher studies, higher wisdom. So you may engage in discussions or higher wisdom, or you may enroll in courses or enroll in a PhD program. Need not be, totally spiritual stuff. But more often than not, this transit would incline you to do higher studies or go deeper into your spiritual belief system. And then ninth house is also our gurus. And so you'll develop very long-term, mature connection, relationship with your gurus and teachers. This could also mean it's the eighth lord going to the ninth house means you will bring out all the esoteric stuff, hidden secrets of the universe, and share those as a guru, as a teacher with other friends. So you yourself could become a guru or a teacher and share all the hidden stuff, esoteric wisdom from the eighth house. Second is this may also change or transform your belief system. Eighth lord in the ninth house, especially the planet of Saturn, you will undergo a big change in your spiritual beliefs, in your dharma, in your path. And then also seventh lord, Saturn is the seventh lord as well. So that means there'll be a lot of spiritual element in your partnerships, in your relationships. And your spouse or your partner will prove more lucky for you, very lucky for you. That's the seventh lord going to the ninth house of bhagya or luck. So that's what's happening at a very high level. You have to look at other transits throughout these 2 years, what's going to be happening with other planets, but also you have to evaluate your natal chart as well and see how these predictions will get modified based on your natal chart placements. So that's for the sign of Cancer. And if you really like the content and if you want to learn astrology through practical applications, so how the transits apply, how they affect each and every rising sign, please subscribe to my channel. So that's for the sign of Cancer. Next is the sign of Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun. And so for Leo, Saturn will be transiting through your eighth house. And Saturn is your sixth lord and your seventh lord. First of all, watch the intersection. We discuss interesting things there. This transit means execution and manifestation. Why I say that? Because Saturn is in Pisces, which is ruled by Jupiter. So it's the combination of Saturn and Jupiter's energy. At the same time, Rahu will be in the signs of Saturn. So the dispositor of Rahu is Saturn. So Rahu will be sending all its energy to Saturn. So this becomes a combination of Saturn, Rahu, and Jupiter in the eighth house. So the biggest overall summary for Leo rising is that there will be manifestation or results or positive things, developments connected with the eighth house, and to some extent for the sixth and seventh also. But eighth house is going to have huge opportunity, huge success. So let's see what those could be. So one is there'll be a lot of change and transformation. Eighth house represents all sorts of change and transformation. There will be a lot of success in revealing the secrets of universe, understanding deep esoteric subjects, occult sciences. Okay, so that's where manifestation will take place. Secondly, you'll do well if you manage other people's money, or you may literally get inheritance yourself, or you may get money from your partner. So this will be good period financially for getting money from other people or managing money of other people. This is also great. Eighth house also represents research. So if you are into any research field, be it medical or engineering or say even FBI, CIA, any secretive services which require this element of secrecy, those will flourish. You'll do really well. This is extremely powerful for those professions, those people who are into research. And then seventh house Lord is going to the eighth house. So that means there will be change and transformation in your relationship. That could be at the energetic level, meaning both of you have evolved or will evolve throughout this transit, or this could literally mean ending of one relationship and beginning of the other. But also this could mean that both you and your partner will become very, very spiritual. You'll do lots of spiritual things together. Okay, so that's the seventh lord. And then sixth lord going to the eighth house. There will be change in the way you manage your health. There could be literally a change in your job or the way you do things. And then there will be actually consolidation, or you'll consolidate the foundation of your job. So this is good period. So this will give you long-term success with respect to your job. And you'll become very fearless in terms of going deep in spirituality because Rahu's energy is also there in your eighth house because Rahu's dispositor is Saturn. So you'll be very fearless and you'll have this, attitude of a maverick when it comes to discovering the deep secrets, the spiritual secrets, maybe even tantric vidya, going and understanding the purpose of existence, secrets of the universe. All of those will be very powerful. And then you'll be very disciplined in your approach to spiritual awakening as well. Because Saturn is the planet of discipline and boundaries and restrictions. And so you'll have a structured approach to your spiritual research or even other, for research for your profession, and understanding the workings of the universe. Now, one caution is because sixth lord in the eighth house, sixth house represents legal matters, and eighth house is also the secrets or secrecy in general. So there could be some hidden stuff or secrets related to legal matters. You have to be careful in that area. But overall, a deep spiritual transformation is going to take place. You'll have success. You'll literally reveal the pearls of wisdom from the bottom of the ocean. That's what Saturn in the eighth house is going to do, especially when it has the energy, the blessings, the combination of Saturn and Jupiter and Rahu in the eighth house. That's considered the most difficult house. So that's for the sign of Leo. If you like the content, please subscribe to my channel. And also, if you want to learn astrology, you can join my courses online, VedicAstrology.com. Again, you have to look at your natal chart, how these predictions may vary. So you can book a consultation if you want to deep dive in your own natal chart reading. So that's for the sign of Leo. Next is Virgo. Virgo rising, Virgo ascendant, Virgo first house. So for Virgo, now before that, let's just discuss quickly the impact of Sadesati. So how Sadesati, so if you have your moon in the sign of Aries, then you just began your Sadesati. So that means if your moon is in the eighth house. Okay, for Virgo rising, if your moon is in the eighth house, that means moon is in the sign of Aries. That means you just began your Saraswati as of March 29, 2025. If your moon is in the seventh house in the sign of Pisces for Virgo rising, then this will mark the middle phase of your Saraswati, which is usually most difficult. And then if your moon is in Aquarius, that is your sixth house for Virgo rising. That means this will be the last phase of your Sadhasati. And you see, usually last phase of Sadhasati gives you lots of blessings because the idea is as Saturn is approaching, it gives you problems. But as Saturn is leaving, going away, it gives you lots of blessings. And so for Aquarius, this will be a good period. If your moon is in Aquarius, this will be an excellent transit. And then if your moon is in Capricorn, that is, if your moon is in your fifth house in the chart, in the sign of Capricorn, that means this will mark the end of Sadhasati for you. So this will be a big relief in general. So first of all, now watch the intersection. We discussed very important things. This combination, this transit, is a combination of Saturn, Jupiter, and Rahu. Why do I say that? So because Saturn, first of all, is in the sign of Jupiter in Pisces, which is ruled by Jupiter. So this is Saturn plus Jupiter combination. Then Rahu will be in the signs of Saturn throughout this transit, either in Aquarius or in Capricorn. So Rahu will feed its energy to Saturn. So this will be a massive period for implementation, execution of results, execution of plans, or getting actual results on the ground related to your seventh house. That means your partnerships will blossom, your partnerships will flourish. This is the time to go out and develop these mature, long-term partnerships that have a meaning, that have a purpose, both in your personal life. That means you may find, your spouse, your lifetime partner during this transit, or you may develop business partnerships that are very solid. And at the same time, fifth lord is going to the seventh house. That means this may be a period where if you're involved in a romantic relationship, that relationship may actually turn into marriage or a long-term prospect because fifth lord is coming to the seventh house. And also, this would mean that your children will feel more courageous because the fifth lord, which represents children, is sitting in third from itself. And so they'll feel courageous, but also this is a wonderful time for creative partnerships. That could be with your children also, but with your romantic partner or with your business partners or with your spouse. So as a partner, as in partnerships, this is the time when you can be more creative in your partnerships or creative or create partnerships with unconventional people, unconventional, beings. So, and then regarding the sixth house, this is the time when you can also even partner with your enemies, as in, make up and just work as a team rather than fighting them. Because sixth lord in the seventh house, and that has the energy of Jupiter and Rahu as well. So just see if you can work things out without having to go to war. That is sixth house. And overall, sixth house is getting a boost, right? So the sixth lord is sitting second from itself. Plus, it's such strong Saturn, Jupiter, Rahu combination. That means this will improve your health. You'll see improvement in your health. You'll see improvement in your job. Job is the work you do for a company for somebody else. So that is sixth house. And then also one of the key remedies for you throughout this transit for Virgo rising is volunteer service, helping other people. That is sixth house, and spending more time with your children and spending more time with your spouse, with your partner. That's all the seventh house. And you'll actually see huge blessings, Virgo rising, because Saturn is getting Digbala also. Saturn loves being in the seventh house. Just like Sun loves being in the first house, Saturn that is very comfortable in the sixth house. This is the natural in Kalpurush Kundli. It's a sign of Libra, and Saturn is exalted in the sign of Libra, seventh sign. So overall, blessings for your relationships, blessings for your children. That's the fifth house. Very, very creative period for you. Do creative things. Excellent period to improve your job, your work, and also. You'll get more material success also because the Kama Trikona is getting the strength with all this energy of Saturn, Jupiter, and Rahu together. in the seventh house. So that's for the sign of Virgo. Now you have to understand other transits happening throughout these 2 years. Combine those, but also look at your natal chart. Those may modify these readings. You can book a consultation if you're interested in deep dive of your own chart. And if you like this content, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to learn astrology, you can join some of the courses on my website you can check out. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your time. So that's for the sign of Virgo. Next is a sign of Libra, Libra rising, Libra ascendant. Uh, watch the intersection. We discuss a lot of important things there. And first 2 months of this transit, this is a major transit, 2 months and almost 2 years and 2 months. And so first 2 months, the month of April and May of 2025, it's going to be a very different energy because Saturn and Rahu will be conjunct in the sign of Pisces at the initial degrees of Pisces. I have a separate video for that. Watch that. And then for the rest of the transit, first of all, also this marks anytime Saturn changes signs, there's a shift in the Saraswati. So that means if you have your moon is in the sign of Aries, that means for Libra rising, if your moon is in the seventh house, then this marks the beginning of your Saraswati. And if your moon is in Pisces, that it means if your moon is in the sixth house for Libra rising, that means this is the middle phase of your Saraswati, so which could be very intense, more stressful. If your moon is in Aquarius, that means if your moon is in the fifth house, that would mean this is the last phase of your Saraswati, which usually gives you a lot of good positive results. And if your moon is in Capricorn, then this will mark the end of Saraswati, literally. So that's for Saraswati, and that's a separate video. But here we're just talking about the rising sign. And understand that the energy of Saturn in Pisces, uh, Saturn will carry this will, you can think of this as a combination of Saturn, Jupiter, and Rahu. Why? Because Saturn is in the sign of Pisces. Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. So this is a Saturn-Jupiter combination. And then Rahu itself will be either in the Pisces first 2 months, then in the sign of ruled by Saturn. So the dispositor of Rahu will be Saturn, either in Aquarius or in Capricorn. Both cases, it'll be the dispositor will be Saturn. So Rahu will be directly sending its energy to Saturn. So this is as if Saturn, Jupiter, and Rahu are sitting in your sixth house in the sign of Pisces. Now that would mean a huge, success, manifestation, results related to that house. So your sixth house will blossom, will flourish. You'll have great blessings of the sixth house. So first of all, big improvement in your health. Saturn is the planet of discipline and structure and boundaries and hard work. So you'll work very hard on your health. You'll have very strict discipline and boundaries and structure in terms of your health routine. Secondly, you'll do the same in your job also, in your profession, in your work. Saturn will give you discipline and hard work and patience and strategic outlook in your job. So you'll prosper, you'll have promotion, you'll have, big success in your work, in your profession. The big remedy for Libra rising is do lots of volunteer work, do service for the humanity, that is sixth house, especially serve the old people. Saturn represents old people and also poor people, that is Saturn. So that's a great remedy for you. And then sixth house is also the house of enemies, inner enemies and external enemies. The Shadripus, you're fighting with our own inner weaknesses and also fighting with the external enemies. So say you want to sit for some competitive exams, this is a good time. Also just challenges, you'll be very strong in dealing with the challenges during this transit. Challenges or obstacles like that. This is a good period for paying off the debts. Okay, so and then also Saturn is sitting in the sixth house, but it's the lord of your fourth house and your fifth house. So now Saturn is the fourth lord. So fourth house is real estate and our place of residence also, literally. So you may have a lot of success in that area, but there could be possibility of conflicts also. Be careful because sixth house represents conflicts and enemies. So you have to be careful in that respect, but otherwise this will bring you a lot of opportunities because it's manifestation, Saturn plus Jupiter plus Rahu. Same thing with the fifth house with your children. There could be a lot of opportunities, but there may be conflicts, potential for differences of opinion and conflicts with your children. Same with your romantic partner. Be very careful with any speculative investments. Be cautious. But this will be a period of really heightened creativity. That is the fifth house. And also, you want to spend a lot of time teaching things, spending time with your students, with your disciples, with your children, literally. That is fifth house. Those will give you a lot of success, a lot of satisfaction. And you also need to look at other transits throughout the year, happening throughout these 2 years. Those will impact, but also your natal chart. Depending on the placement of planets in your natal chart, these predictions, these readings may vary. So if you like the content, please subscribe to my channel. And if you are interested in learning astrology, very deep, practical ways of learning astrology, you can join our courses online, VedicAstroAmit.com. So that's for the sign of Libra. Next is Scorpio rising, Scorpio Lagna. For Scorpio, Saturn will be transiting through your fifth house, and Saturn rules your third house and fourth house. Watch the intro section. Very important to have that understanding, that foundation. And then first 2 months of this transit are going to be different and possibly difficult. This is a big, long transit. So for 2 months and 2 years and 2 months, March 2025 through June 2027. The first 2 months, April and May, Saturn and Rahu are going to be conjunct in sign of Pisces, in the early degrees of Pisces. So if you have planets around those degrees or in general, there could be some difficult energy. Watch my other video on that. And then second thing is this, anytime Saturn changes signs, there's a big shift in terms of Sadhisati, who's going through Sadhisati, who's ending or beginning. So if your moon is in Aries, that means if your moon is sitting in the sixth house in your chart for Scorpio rising, then this will mark the beginning of Sadhisati. So that's, you have to be cautious. If your moon is in Pisces, though, that is your fifth house for Scorpio rising, then this will mark the middle phase of Sadhisati. That is usually the most stressful. And also, you just need to work hard a lot during that phase. If your moon is in Aquarius, that is the fourth house, then this will mark the last phase of Sadhisati. If your moon is last phase of Sadhisati usually gives you a lot of blessings. So this will be a positive shift. If your moon is in Aquarius, this will be a good transit. But if moon is in Capricorn, then this will mark the end of Sadhisati. So that's for Sadhisati, but this we are looking at Scorpio rising for these predictions. Okay, so fifth house, Saturn. Now, Saturn will be in the sign of Pisces, that is ruled by Jupiter. So this is the energy of combination of Saturn and Jupiter. At the same time, Rahu will be either with Saturn or in the signs ruled by Saturn. So Rahu will shift energy to Saturn. So this is literally a combination of Saturn, Jupiter, and Rahu in your fifth house. That means a lot of manifestation, making things happen, and also big, grand, schemes and plans, and long-term view. So, but also in a very disciplined way, that's Saturn. It's not just daydreaming, because Rahu in Pisces has been daydreaming, because Rahu is expansive energy and big plans. Pisces is the same, but now Rahu is the planet of discipline and structure and practical reality. So this will still, you'll make big plans, but Saturn will make sure you're implementing those. So the fifth house, that will blossom. You'll have huge implementation. So maybe a new romantic relationship, but also if you have children, excellent time for your children in their life or your connection with your children. Really powerful time for creativity. Do lots and lots and lots of creative projects. Okay. Your fourth lord is sitting in the fifth house now. So you'll have big success in real estate, potentially. And then you'll be disciplined in all these areas, like dealing with your children, you'll be very disciplined. Having a romantic relationship in your love affairs, you'll be very disciplined. And then also, this will give you opportunities to make strategic investments in the stock market. So calculative, speculative investments. And then the third house lord is in the fifth house. So third house is our courage, dealing with the day-to-day issues. And so the third lord sitting third from itself, that'll give you a lot of immense courage. So you can just go out and take on the world. Dealing with day-to-day challenges will become much easier for you. You'll be very, very strong. Third house represents our skills also. So and when third lord is going to the fifth house of creativity, so the third house is skills, Fifth house is creativity. Absolutely a fantastic combination. Learn some new skills, be very, very creative, and good period for communication, reaching out to people, especially written communication or any writing projects. And then also, spending time with the neighbors or your close friends, that's third house. And doing things with your mother, helping your mother, helping your younger siblings, or doing things, projects together with your younger siblings or with your mother. All those areas will give you huge success. This is the transit of manifestation in different areas of life for different rising signs, but excellent opportunities for everybody. So that's for, but also you have to look at the other transits throughout these 2 years, and then combine those. And then secondly, you need to look at your natal chart. So things may shift. The reading may get modified based on your natal chart. So if you like the content, please subscribe to my channel. And also, if you want to learn astrology, you can join one of our courses on the website VedicAstrology.com. So that's for the sign of Scorpio. Next is Sagittarius rising, Sagittarius Lagna. Now, before moving further, please watch the intro section. We discussed important things there. And the first 2 months of this transit are going to be very different and could be stressful for different areas, for different rising signs. I have a separate video for that. But then overall, this is a 2 years and 2 months, more than 2 years and 2 months. Transit is the longest transit. Saturn is the slowest moving planet. So for the rest of the duration, throughout the duration of this transit, this is a combination of Saturn and Jupiter and Rahu. Why? Because Saturn is in Pisces, which is ruled by Jupiter, and Rahu will be either with Saturn for the first 2 months or in the signs ruled by Saturn. So the dispositor of Rahu is Saturn. So that means Rahu will be sending its energy to Saturn. So there's a combination of Saturn, Jupiter, and Rahu, which means manifestation, which means big projects, big achievements. But not just making plans in the air, which was the case with Rahu. Has been in Pisces, a lot of daydreaming, but now Saturn is the planet of structure and discipline and strategy and hard work and patience. So Saturn will make things happen on the ground. And then also in terms of Sadhisati, anytime Saturn changes signs, you want to see how the Sadhisati is impacting different people. So as a Sagittarius rising, if your moon is in the fifth house, that is sign of Aries, then you will be beginning, you'll start your Sadhisati with this transit. If your moon is in Pisces, that's the fourth house for Sagittarius rising, then you'll be in the middle phase of Sadhisati. This could be a stressful period in general. Saturn will be polishing your mind. If your moon is in the third house in the sign of Aquarius, for Sagittarius rising, this will mark the last phase of Sadhisati. And if your moon is in Capricorn, that is second house for Sagittarius rising, then this will mark the end of Sadhisati for you. So that's just a brief, clarity on Sadhisati for different moon signs. But now coming back to this Sagittarius rising transit of Saturn in Pisces, you will have huge success related to the fourth house because things will manifest related to that house. Plus, success in the second and third house matters also, but fourth house stands to gain the most. So, excellent time for real estate. Excellent time for spending time, with family. That's the fourth house at your home. Your home will become the go-to place. And then second lord coming to the fourth house as well. Second house is your family and family wealth, family security, all of those family values. So overall, a great period for you to be at home with your family members. Your relationship with your family members will improve. Your relationship, especially with your mother and your younger siblings, will improve because the third lord in the fourth house and the fourth house getting strength from Saturn, Jupiter, and Rahu. And then it's time to discover what makes you happy. Inner happiness is fourth house, and Saturn is telling you, hey, let's manifest things related to the fourth house. And Saturn is the karma karaka, profession. We look at in Bhrigunadinadi, which I teach, you look at profession from Saturn, and Saturn, the planet of profession, is sitting in the fourth house. That means home-based business or spending more time doing work from your home. Okay. And literally improving things in your home also, maybe renovation or bigger home or things like that. So all of those things, and also your second house is your family wealth. So you'll work towards consolidating your family wealth. Great period for communication, all sorts of communication, speech, that is second house, and written communication, that is third house, marketing, sales, that is third house, short distance travels, that is third house. All of those things will have huge opportunities. So it doesn't mean that this whole 26-month period will be rosy and amazing things, but there will be amazing opportunities throughout this period, several times at least. And so you got to grab those, and then there will be challenges. As I mentioned, the first 2 months are going to be challenging with Saturn Rahu combination. And then also you have to look at other transits, what's going on with other planets, and combine those energies. Not just this is one piece of the puzzle. Okay, and then finally look at your natal chart. Things will shift. Things will not be exactly same as per this reading, because this is based on high level, generic reading for all Sagittarius rising people. So if you like the content, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want to learn astrology, practical astrology, deep analysis, then join one of our courses. Visit the website VedicAstrology.com. So and thanks for watching. That's for Sagittarius rising. Next is Capricorn. For Capricorn rising, Capricorn Lagna, Capricorn ascendant. First of all, watch the intro section. A lot of important information there. Secondly, just to discuss quickly about the Saraswati, because anytime Saturn transits or changes sign, there's a shift in Saraswati. So if your moon is in the fourth house in the sign of Aries, that I'm talking about Capricorn rising, if your moon is in the fourth house, then this will mark the beginning of your Saraswati. If your moon is in the third house, that is a sign of Pisces, this will mark the middle phase of Saraswati, which can be usually very stressful, and lots of obstacles possible, or hard work, lots of hard work. If your moon is in Aquarius, that is your second house for Capricorn rising, then this will mark the last phase of Saraswati for you, which is usually very good in terms of it gives you a lot of blessings, a lot of results, a lot of positive things happen. If your moon is in Capricorn, that is in the first house in Lagna, then this will mark the end of Saraswati for you. So that's how you can look at the Saraswati. And then now, in terms of Saturn itself, Saturn is going to the sign of Pisces, and that will be a combination of the energy of Saturn, Jupiter, and Rahu. So this will give birth to a lot of projects. You'll execute a lot of things because Saturn is in Pisces, that is ruled by Jupiter. And Rahu either will be with Saturn for first couple of months, or it'll be in the signs ruled by Saturn. So the dispositor will be Saturn. So Rahu will be shifting or channeling energy to Saturn. So in other words, Saturn will carry the energy of Jupiter and Rahu as well. So it's pretty much a combination of Saturn, Jupiter, Rahu in your third house. So you'll have huge success, huge results, huge things, opportunities related to your third house. So what all does that mean? First of all, amazing period for communication. All forms of communication, networking, writing, emails, newsletters, speech, webinars, because your second house and third house are getting very powerful with this transit. Second Lord is going to the third house, and the third house has huge strength of Saturn, Jupiter, and Rahu. Then also including marketing, sales, all of that. Short distance travels are going to be very, very useful. And in fact, that is one of the remedies for you is Saturn in the third house means go walking in your neighborhood, or, short distances as much as you can. For meeting people, meeting clients, or just networking, or neighbors, or close friends. So walking is a great remedy for Saturn. Being in the third house, that is short distance travels. So walking or covering short distance travels on foot is excellent remedy. And then third house is our skills also. So you'll have excellent opportunities to learn new things because Saturn, Jupiter, Rahu will manifest that energy. And then third house represents our younger siblings. So wonderful time to better your relationship with your younger siblings, or work with them, do projects together, or you can help them, support them. That becomes a remedy as well. Okay. And then also the second house getting a strength where you'll work towards consolidating your family wealth, your resources, your accumulated all the assets. Now, this is also your Lagna Lord. So let's not forget, this is the Lagna Lord sitting in the third house. Very powerful. That means it will lift up the whole chart. You'll feel more courageous, more, and third house represents our courage It's so Saturn is the strong malefic planet. You want malefics in the third house to take care of day-to-day challenges, but it's not just ordinary malefic. It's the Saturn, very strong with the energy of Jupiter and Rahu. So you'll feel very, very good and courageous in dealing with the daily, day-to-day challenges. So that's the impact, but also your own self, you know, like self-transformation, change, or just being more confident and powerful, feeling powerful from within. You'll feel all of that. Good time for personality development, focusing on your health also. That first house, Lagna Lord, represents your health in general. So you'll feel more supported, more powerful, more grounded with Saturn, Jupiter, and Rahu energy in the third house. So, but also you have to look at other transits throughout these 2 years and look at your natal chart also that may modify these readings, these predictions. And so overall, this is high level prediction, generic prediction. So thanks for watching. If you like the content, consider subscribing to my channel. If you want to learn astrology, very practical astrology, you can join one of our courses online, VedicAstrology.com. So that's for the sign of Capricorn. Next is Aquarius, Aquarius rising, Aquarius Lagna, Aquarius ascendant. Now, before we begin, please watch the intro section. Very important discussions there. Secondly, the first 2 months of this transit are going to be possibly difficult for different areas. Watch my separate video on that because Saturn and Rahu are going to be conjunct in the sign of Pisces. So watch that video. And especially initial degrees of Pisces. So if you have important planets around that degree, those will feel the pressure. Okay. And then now also whenever Saturn changes signs, there is a shift in Sarasati. So if your moon is in Aries, that is your third house for Aquarius rising, then this will mark the beginning of your Sarasati. If your moon is in the second house in the sign of Pisces for Aquarius rising, this will mark the middle phase of Sarasati, which can be usually very stressful. If your moon is in Aquarius, the same as your Lagna, then this will be the last phase of Sarasati, which usually gives you a lot of blessings. Whereas if your moon is in 12th house in the sign of Capricorn, then this will mark the end of Sarasati for you. So just for clarification, now coming back to this transit. So this is Saturn plus Jupiter plus Rahu energy, huge manifestation, huge results, huge blessings related to your second house. So first of all, this transit will improve your wealth. You'll have more and more family wealth, accumulated resources. Okay, that is the second house. This is also a good time to, in fact, you'll be very disciplined, organized, structured in managing your finances. Also, good time to focus on your diet, the food that you eat. Saturn will help you be very disciplined in your diet. This will give you a boost. If you have problems controlling your food habits, this is going to be a very good transit for you. And then the speech also. So you'll have a very mature and speech as a wise person. So that's Saturn Jupiter Rahu combination in the second house. Now, this is also your Lagna Lord. So complete change, transformation for you. You will feel very strong. This will improve your health. This will lead to self-development, personality development. All of those things will have a positive impact. At the same time, a 12th house is getting strong. So 12th Lord is sitting in the second house, getting the energy of Jupiter and Rahu. So there could be a lot of opportunities in the foreign countries or foreign travel or from abroad. Okay. And then also your subconscious mind is 12th house. So that will also get activated. So this is a good time to do meditation, past life regression, astral travel, all of those things. A lot of esoteric studies or even study Jyotish, study those sciences, Yoga Nidra, past life regression. Those things will be very, very powerful, very fruitful throughout this transit. Now that's generic predictions. You have to look at your natal chart, also how those may be modified, but also watch the other transits throughout these 2 years, where the planets are, what's going on. So then you have to combine all of that. So if you like the content, please subscribe to my channel. And that's the reading for Aquarius rising. And if you want to learn astrology, in a very fun, practical way, consider joining our courses on my website, VedicAstrology.com. So that's for the sign of Aquarius. And thanks for watching. Next is Pisces. Pisces rising, Pisces lagna, Pisces ascendant. Watch the intro section first. We discussed important things there. And for Pisces, Saturn is going to be in your lagna, and it's the 11th lord and the 12th lord. Okay. The first 2 months of this transit, it's a long transit, 26-month transit. The first 2 months could be difficult overall for all areas of life for Pisces rising, because Saturn and Rahu are going to be conjunct in the early degrees of Pisces. So if your lagna is early degrees of Pisces or important planets in the early degrees of Pisces, you will feel more pressure. I have a separate video on that, Saturn Rahu conjunction in Pisces. Watch that video first. And then also in terms of Sadesati, so anytime Saturn changes signs, there's a shift in Sadesati. So if your moon is in sign of Aries in your second house for Pisces rising, then this will mark the beginning of your Sadesati. If your moon is in Pisces itself, in your lagna, then this will mark the middle phase of Sadesati, which usually could be quite stressful. If your moon is in the 12th house in the sign of Aquarius, then this will mark the last phase of your Sadhasati, which usually is very beneficent. Like it gives you a lot of blessings and results and success. But if your moon is in Capricorn, then this marks the end of Sadhasati for you. So, and now in terms of Saturn in Pisces, Rahu has been sitting in Pisces. A lot of daydreaming might have been possible for you since last 1 year at least. Now Saturn will join. Saturn will come here. It will give you boundaries and practical ground reality. Saturn means business on the ground. So you won't be daydreaming anymore, even though Rahu will still be there for the first 2 months of this transit. But Saturn will say, hey, you got to execute on your plan. You got to do things. You got to work hard, patience, and perseverance. So those changes will be there. First of all, this will lead to self discovery, who you are. The first house, you'll discover yourself. Saturn is going to be strong here with the energy of Jupiter and Rahu. Jupiter Rahu, I say because Jupiter is the ruler of Pisces, and Rahu will either be with Saturn first 2 months, or it'll be in the signs ruled by Saturn, that is Aquarius or Capricorn, throughout this duration of the transit. So this is literally a combination of Saturn, Jupiter, Rahu sitting in your lagna in your first house, manifesting things, giving you blessings, huge, big projects, big strategy, big plans, but also doing things on the ground. That is Saturn. Okay, so fantastic period overall for your health, except for the first 2 months. Be careful first 2 months. Watch the separate video I made. But overall, otherwise, good for health, good for self-development, as I said. But also 12th Lord and 11th Lord are coming to your lagna. And so this will reveal a lot of secrets to you. 12th house means hidden secrets. So those will come to you. You mean your lagna represents you. And this will also bring you long-term friendships, like a lot of mature and very solid friendships for the long term. That's 11th house. You'll have financial gains. You'll also have, your desires will be fulfilled, but you will be very cautious, and you'll have boundaries and discipline in terms of your desires. So you won't have excessive desires at all. You'll also improve your health, do more things for your health. And then 12th house will reveal all the past lives. This will reveal like people from other planes of existence may come into your life and give you guidance, just like ancestors. So those houses are going to give you blessings, the 11th house, 12th house, and the lagna. Of course, you have to look at the transits of other planets, what they are doing, and then combine those throughout these 2 years, and look at your natal chart also. So combine the transit with your natal chart. That's what gives you the customized predictions or reading. And if you want to learn astrology, you can join on my website. We have several courses going on, VedicAstroAmit.com. And if you like the content, please subscribe to my channel. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate your time. May we all have a very blissful transit of Shani Maharaj in Meen Rashi. Namaste.